Yep. Guess what I'm doing, folks? I know. Who sells a manual V8 Vantage? Well, my back's been hurting lately. I have two-seater manual sports cars, and I'm in a family of 4. So yeah, I'd love to keep the Vantage tooling around in the garage, but at the end of the day, it's just not getting the life it deserves. I've loved every minute of owning it. I love looking at it, but net, it's time for me to move on in my vehicle ownership journey and give someone else the chance to enjoy this fine vehicle, which I know will appreciate the minute I hand over the keys. But what I wanted to also do was kind of give you a walkthrough of Cars and Bids. I've never used it. This is Doug DeMuro's, who I imagine many of you are familiar with, a website whereby he helps people sell modern cars, but modern in a very loose sense of the word. I think it's all the 80s all the way up to today. So I imagine this being an eligible car because they've sold some of the Vantages on this site. And if you look here, this no reserve listings being $40 cheaper than a reserve listing, I am going to try and roll the dice and put it on a no reserve. I've seen roughly what these cars are selling for. I can live with it. Now, why can I live with that in a world where these cars have bottomed out and now they're pitching up in trajectory? The value of used cars in general during COVID is going up, and more people are becoming aware of the Aston Martin brand through other large YouTubers, a la Tavares, Vinwiki, etc. So with that, I know that probably the financial benefit isn't really there for me, but I can tell you that when I went into some dealerships this week, there is absolutely zero love for these cars. They believe and perceive them to be too risky. They believe the audience to be too thin for them to take a risk on, so they really wanted me to take a haircut. So instead, I thought it would be intriguing to you for me to roll the dice and check out what may happen on Cars and Bids. Now, this is the first video. I'm literally doing this in real time today on October 30th of 2020, and there will be a series of this as things progress. What you will see as I get to the end of this registration phase is Cars and Bids is taking over now to take a look at the submission and then trying to identify if it fits. And as I understand it, they'll reach out and then coach me on how to set up this auction for success. And with that, I'm very curious to see how this process goes, and I thought you might be too. Now, there's probably another cohort of you that just want to see how badly I get bashed up on a no reserve auction on my Aston Martin. So either way, I hope you enjoy the ride, and I hope you and I frankly learn a lot about selling cars privately. Frankly, it's something I've been very uncomfortable with the idea of for some time, and I've always rolled over and taken my lumps at the dealership. Well, this week was pretty much the final straw for me, where I identified the idea that, and specifically in this car's case, I could not possibly give up as much as they wanted me to. And so it's forced my hand, and hopefully I can share this ride with you, and you may see whether or not this is the right way to go for you. Not even sure if it's going to be that way for me yet, but TBD. Watch this space. So far, so good. Basic site registration, some background information on the vehicle, uploaded some images, and now the ball is in Cars and Bids court to volley back to me with whatever else they need to see, know, or do in order to consider uploading this to a live auction. The journey has begun. Who knows where it will end? Be memorable, be well, and tune in for follow-up soon.